Welcome back, everybody.
And please ponder the question, what if this video is under 20 minutes? We'll never know because we won't get there. Anyways, I'm August.
I'm Cole.
And
And this
today,
is a normal setting for us now. August, we're next to each other again. I don't know
yeah,
which direction you are.
we're here. We're talking about an actual show. It's been a hot minute. We've just been doing tier lists, grinding.
Suicide Squad video, but besides that, we're just
Yeah, but it wasn't a TV show. We're getting back to our roots.
What if the
What if
anticipated 10-episode miniseries by Marvel?
one of
Canon to the MCU.
Yeah,
Let's get into it.
Let's get
Captain
into
Carter
it.
this episode.
So, a burp, a breakdown, a review, and predictions. So, what if Peggy became Captain America or Captain Carter? Starts off right where we're about to get the super soldier serum, and there's one decision, one scene changed, and that's instead of when Peggy is asked to go up to the booth to watch from above, she says no. And she stays right where all the blinding light's gonna be, and that cascades into it appears to be a whole nother universe that we're gonna kind of come back to.
Yeah, I don't know. It's obviously with the end of the episode kind of gonna be a recurring thing, I think, for at least a couple episodes. But
I mean, we've seen the Avengers with her and Star Panther and stuff like that.
Well, let's just get into this episode. So we start off, of course, as August said, she decides to stay down there. A spy, of course, as we've seen in the first Captain America, makes a bigger move this time, blows the spot up. Yeah, and
Dr. Erskine does not get shot; he gets utterly eviscerated.
Steve gets shot. It forces Peggy to become a super soldier, even though some of the people aren't happy about it.
Well, it's 1943, as we all understand, and we all know it was more difficult for females at that time.
This episode has a big focus on that topic.
It's an undertone throughout the entire thing. And she has to go in right then and there because it's now or never. I don't think they're going to have the power. They're not going
to be able to recreate it.
And Steve's been shot, and like Cole said.
So she comes out, of course, of the machine, bigger than ever, baby. Giant Peggy.
She-Hulk wishes she could be so swole.
Honestly. And then we kind of move to the part of the story that kind of floats where she's not going to be deployed because she's a woman.
She's a woman, and women don't fight on the battlefield. That's
exactly.
We've got Colonel Idiot here who keeps telling us that, or whatever. And Howard Stark throughout this is just like chaotic good the entire time. Like, he's just chaos incarnate.
Perfect.
He's just perfect. He's like running into scenes. He's like, well.
And it kind of moves to, I think, maybe the point of this episode where it starts to get interesting. They find out that Red Skull has found the Tesseract.
Is the Tesseract. Yeah, so Red Skull finds the Tesseract just like he normally does. And this is where stuff starts to go really different.
The one general idiot guy does not want to deploy a platoon to retrieve the Tesseract, and Howard's telling him, hey, if this Tesseract makes it to Hydra base, we're donezo. So Peggy is obviously upset about this, but Howard goes, I got you something. In this whole episode, a little bit before this, it's also kind of like they make fun of like Captain America in the first Avenger where he's going around selling war bonds.
Yeah, so they have a bunch of callbacks to the original.
Yeah, it's pretty good. But so Stark gives her the Captain Carter suit with the Great Britain flag.
It's upgraded. It's got some pads. It looks. Okay, I'm going to talk about this right now, so I'm not going to talk about it again. From a costuming perspective, this suit looks far too modern to be from World War II. It's got the design elements from like from Winter Soldier and onward with the shoulder. So and the buckle is wrong, and it should have been closer to what they had in the first Avenger. I know I'm a nerd. That's why I'm just. That's why I'm saying it now. And yeah,
someone's got to talk about it because it definitely wasn't me.
I'm triggered.
But we see her get into action, even with the shield. They kind of glossed over the shield. They just gave it to her.
Oh yeah, he throws that thing on the table. He's like, "Well, here's a big old shield."
Because this is a movie speed run.
It really is.
But she single-handedly gets the Tesseract from a caravan of Hydra troops. Proves her worth, of course,
by brutally murdering every man with a shield by doing sick combos on them. Like, dude, those guys are dead. Like, it's not like Captain America where he's like hitting them in the chest and they're falling. No, she's like chucking it at their face and like, it's like they're dead.
Yeah, and we kind of get like a little after that moment. We kind of get like a little flash, like quick flash forward a little bit in the story where it's really a comic book montage of her punching out troops and stuff, and we get to the point where Steve is like, I need to save Bucky.
Bucky's been captured.
Peggy goes by herself, of course, I think, right, to go save Bucky, and of course she comes back with the troops, as we all know.
And they kind of make fun of her a little bit for being a woman, and then she like murders a dude by chucking him into the bars again, and they're all like, "Oh, okay, never mind." And then she rips the bars off their cages, and they're all like,
"Yeah."
Sebastian Stan reprises his role. It's great to actually hear someone. Damien Dark is also there, and
stop. We kind of glossed over this too, but the actress that plays Peggy voices her this episode.
Haley Atwell, I believe.
Yes, that is correct.
Yes.
Yes. But anyway, they move out of the prison or whatever they are, and then we get the...
There's tanks coming, and like, what are we gonna do? It's a tank.
Air support inbound. We get the Hydra Stomper reveal.
Powered by Tesseract goodness. And it's really interesting because it's this subtle difference, but Hydra is now shooting bullets instead of disintegration guns, which it's like, whoa, they stand way more of a chance when it's not one hit.
Yeah. And of course Steve comes and stomps on Peggy. Teamwork.
They're dancing. Yes. It's great.
Yeah, dancing. And then we kind of move to like the next notable scene is I think the bar scene.
Yeah, we get a little bit of a bar scene and like speed running this romance. And not to say that this romance doesn't feel as deserved, because I mean, if you watch the first part of Captain America, you already know that their chemistry was pretty good at that point.
Yeah.
And this is just a role reversal. And
yes. Well, it also like shows that Peggy really doesn't love Steve because of the guns that he's got.
It's not because he came out a mega stud. It's because he's just a stud.
He's a stud inside the heart.
He's a stud inside.
And we get more Howard Stark too. And Howard, this episode's great.
Howard pushes buttons. Bucky steals a Jeep, so we know how Captain America knows how to steal cars.
Where did Captain America learn how to steal a car?
They kind of talk about how because of Captain Carter's like pushes to kind of end the war, that she's finally allowed in the room, which I think is like
there's
a lot
there's that whole thing.
And I'm not going to touch on it too much because I'm not the most qualified person, but
it works really well.
It works really well for the story. But we schmoo. She's finally allowed in the room, and they finally find out there is an assault on a Hydra train to shut down the Red Skull.
It's a big segment in the original Captain America, it's a big thing. This is where Bucky is blown off and he loses his arm, of which we get a cheeky mention. By the way, Bucky is just a sarcastic like guy the entire time, which is kind of...
He's not depressed Winter Soldier guy.
He's a happy man in this, and you know Steve is opening. He's in the Buster and he's opening up. And finds that the engine room is just full of C4 and gets blown up. assumed dead.
Yep. And
And
yeah.
Bucky,
So
you know what? And one thing, Bucky would not have given up so easily on Steve. Okay, they're in it till the end of the line, and Bucky's like, we gotta go.
You gotta speed run the movie. Come on.
Gotta speed run a movie.
But we get to the final assault where we also find out that Red Skull is gonna try to summon an interdimensional beast that is the Hydra.
He's going to summon the champion.
And we move anyway, but you know, they evade the thing. They found out Steve's alive. Blah 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 blah. You watch the episode, you know it's not a big action piece.
Steve's there.
Peggy brings Howard to press a button, and she presses the only button this episode, and didn't let Howard press the button.
I know. I was like, isn't that Howard's job to press? And you know what, Howard? You're a super genius. You don't need to read Deutsch. Deutsch. Deutschland.
We saved the day, but of course we have to have that sacrifice that Steve
the captain
had.
Sacrifice, yeah.
And Peggy pushes the monster back into the interdimensional portal, but she has to go with it, and Steve is big sad.
Big sad. They don't get their dance.
That's basically the breakdown. I want to try to make this quick. So we'll go to the review part of this video. We haven't done one of these in a while. Burp. Hasn't been a long time. What are you giving this episode? We're gonna put up the wait. Scale. She's back, baby.
She's back with the additions of Loki and Sylvie. They're there.
Owen Wilson, actually. Sylvie's not there.
Oh, my bad. Okay. Romance, why not?
So, first episode, of course. My thoughts on this episode is it's pretty good for like add-on to a movie that you already seen. It's not the hook, line, and sinker I kind of wanted from it, but it works well. It's a decent episode, so I'm gonna give it a 7.
Yeah, I think for me it's one of the most easily predictable episodes in terms of like if you're given the concept like what if Peggy became Captain America or Captain Carter. I feel like you can kind of fill in what would happen, and especially if you're told like Steve was also given the Buster. Like we had I had a feeling Peggy was gonna have to get like trapped in something temporal, blah blah blah, and Steve would be left just like it's a whole reversal. And I kind of hope that something like, especially with Star Panther, that's what I'm calling him, Star-Lord, Black Panther thing, it's not as easy to go like, oh, he's just gonna do this and this and this. So I feel like that takes away from this. But I mean, we both had the thought that this is like speed running a movie. So again, this does put it at like the 7-ish, 8-ish area. But I mean, it's done well. Good art.
It's done really well, and the animation in this episode, I was kind of worried a little bit about how it was gonna look, but the fight scenes were really good actually, smooth. Which kind of took me by surprise with the style they tried to go by, but it's Disney and the budget is infinite.
It kind of reminds me of Armored Adventures if Armored Adventures got a facelift.
A little bit. But this was definitely like, it really felt like an introduction, like, let's take it slow episode.
Yeah, like, let's get you familiar with what we're doing here. So I can't wait for that zombie episode, the T'Challa, I think Vision's got one. I don't know. There's a bunch with Iron Man and stuff like that.
So we'll get to the predictions, but I think obviously next episode might be like the Avengers replacement, as we see at the very end.
Maybe. I think though, because going off the trailers, so going completely off the trailers, we see the spinning shot, and there's the Gamora as like Thanos' daughter Gamora, where she's wearing the armor, and we see Star-Lord, T'Challa. And I don't think they're gonna immediately go to Avengers with those characters and not have that kind of exposure.
Oh, you're right, because those are our characters. So it's gonna be, well, we're gonna get that eventually, of course, but Iron Man is probably the next one, I think.
Yeah, what if Iron Man didn't get blown up or whatever, which has Eric Killmonger. Is he voiced by
Actually, I don't.
I have no idea what's next.
Now that I think about it, I have no idea because Killmonger's holding an Ultron head, so I'd figure that might be like a prequel to the Ultron Vision episode.
Yeah, I feel like what we have here is going to be two universes that we're really visiting, right? So I think we got the zombie universe because that has Steve Rogers Captain America. That's my biggest tell that's got its own different, and that has something to dealing with Scarlet Witch and Zombie Hunter Spider-Man and some other characters. And then we've got the Captain Carter universe where that's got the
Star-Lord,
T'Challa,
Gamora,
the Doctor Strange, the Evil Strange.
Thor. It was Thor shown.
Like, yeah, there was the Party Thor where it was like he was never worthy or something like that.
So next episode, we've been talking about.
I have no idea. I have no idea which one it is.
I'm excited to see whatever it is. I'm sure it'll be great. Because this is now the point I think where they're going to start twisting the stories to definitely like this mind-blowing what if.
Yeah, definitely just introduction.
But we keep getting this note that this show's going to have a big impact on the MCU, and I'm kind of like, how are we doing this? But I also said that for Loki, and Loki definitely blew up the MCU a little bit. But that was it for this burp. This Friday, we're coming to the end of Bad Batch. So
yeah, this Friday, we're doing Bad Batch finale, or at least Saturday. This weekend, we will be talking about, this weekend, we will have our video of the Bad Batch. Stay tuned.
Thanks for watching this video. Like, comment, subscribe. We'll be back with you next week.
Cole will be back with you.
Yeah, someone will be back with you. Come back for What If Episode 2, whatever form it is. We'll have a video out.
Cole is censoring me.